show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shawana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.
The person that the politics is good to be back this morning. On yesterday, we sincerely apologize that we couldn't come on due to some uh, health situation. I was not too well, and I had to stand back for medical attention. But it's good to be here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. If you are somewhere and it is in the evening, I want to say hats up to you. In the afternoon, good afternoon, and in the morning, good morning. Hoping you're having yourselves a wonderful, wonderful time. This is the KMTV Morning Show. It comes away Mondays through Fridays. My name is Amos Thomas Momo, and today is Friday, and it's day 18 of 2023. Want to say welcome if you're just joining us. And for those of you who are celebrating your birthday today, taking into consideration it's Friday, I want to say happy birthday to you. For those of you who have celebrated, hoping you can take a belated birthday from me. And if you are to celebrate your birthday, it is a pre-birthday shout out to you. Your wedding anniversary today, congratulations. It's best to be together and we're hoping you work in accordance with those vows. We'll be together forever to death do us part. Liberia is getting better, and all of the loops and corners of our country, campaign activities is all over. If you have been following, or if you just following what's happening for those of you who are in the diaspora, Liberia is getting very close to the polls. Going to be on October 10th. Liberians will be going to the polls to elect a new leader or to retain a leader that is already occupying and then representing the people. The House of Representatives and that of the House of Senate will also be going to election. 15 of them from the Senate will go to election, and the rest of the lawmakers, I mean the representatives, will be going to election. The NEC is currently ongoing the replacement of lost card, and I think it will end on tomorrow. That's the 19th of August. So for those of you who misplaced your card, like my very self, I didn't misplace mine, but unfortunate situation, those guys entered my place and then they took away my wallet where my card was. And I have to go and replace mine, hopefully today or tomorrow. And so for those of you who are in similar situation, you have to go and replace yours because you have to be part of the decision making of the country. Liberians and Liberia, we all depend on each other for decision. We cannot do it alone. And so October 10th, that you make a decision that will either be in the best interest of Liberia. And I'm optimistic that that decision you'll be making on October 10 will be in the best interest of Liberia. My name is Amos Thomas Momo. Good to have you again today. Just to give you a rundown of what unfolds here on the presentation, from 10 o'clock now to 10:30, we'll talk trending national happenings, political happenings in the country. At 10:30, we have the political leader of the movement for One Liberia, Madam Macdalla. She's now with the Unity Party. She endorsed the Unity Party candidacy, president and vice president. And so she's now in full support of Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai and Mr. Senator Jeremiah Kpankun of Nima County as vice running mate to Ambassador Boakai, who's the standard bearer of the Unity Party. She will be our guest this morning. We'll talk all of those issues surrounding the MOL. We'll dive into the Unity Party and her side of it. What are those things she's playing in there? She will also be telling us her stand as we move to election. What are those new ideas she's bringing to the party? What are those things she foresee as we go to the October 10 polls? And she been of late making some strong statement. She'll be telling us from where she stands, what prompted her to come out with those statements and the rest of it. But as it stands, national happenings in the country, in Nimba County it stands. The candidate on the CDC is former warlord Roland Duo, and he's on the CDC. He's the senatorial candidate on the ticket of the CDC, and he made some statement in my mind. I think, though everyone have right to their opinion, right? And one may say opinion are not fine. Opinions are not fine. That's the way ones think. Though you have right to your opinion, on the other side you have freedom of expression, freedom of speech, but you very careful with those statements you make, because this is a country of law. Is this a country of law? This is a country of rules and order. So if you are making statements that undermine the peace and stability of our country, I think it is not something we need to encourage. Violence in this election is condemned, and we're hoping that we can have a free, fair, and transparent election. Roland Duo, who is on the ticket of the CDC in Nima County, called on Nimbarians to give him small too. He said, well, Prince Johnson killed for 9 months. They gave him 18 years to serve as senator of Nima County. And the other guy, he called, also was part of the revolution, and they gave him some amount of years to serve. Why can't they give him small when he fought for Nibayans for over 14 years? He fought throughout the 14 years of civil war. Against that backdrop, Liberians and Nibayans should give him small too. So we'll take that accept. When we come back, we will give you our clear stand on that statement coming from Roland Duo, who is the senatorial candidate on the ticket of the CDC there.
For 14 years, your please give me small too now.
Give it very small. Give me let it make this it too.
I know that the particular election, there's an election for you to give me small too.
Can you please take it from the start? I want you to give me
14 years in a country. How now you people don't know that when they said Banga was nation, it was Roland Duo. When they say senior senator was enjoying himself, know that Roland Duo fought for 14 years in a country. How now you people don't know that when they said Banga was nation, it was Roland Duo. When they say senior senator was enjoying himself in a bigger hotel in Nigeria. When they staged a war and they left it, they went and started enjoying themselves. We were here trying to stand in front of the enemy for Nima to survive. You people are begging you. If you can get a tougher total in his own terms, you give Senator Johnson a 3 years for 9 more war that he fought. Roland Duo that fought for you for 14 years. You please give me small too now.
Give it very small. Give me let it make this it too.
I know that the particular election, there's an election for you to give me small too.
I know this particular election is an election that you need to give me small too. So it means that, I mean, this is I think what Roland is saying, that it is necessary to participate in this revolution, because if they can give a Duffer Dolo, according to him, time to serve the Nimba people, they gave Prince Johnson, according to Roland Duo, 18 years, and he's still contesting. Nimbayans are still on their heels to re-elect him. Why can't they give him, Roland Duo, who fought for 14 years to serve? So he said, well, you all need to give me small too. But I think it is not something that we need to be listening to. This is a country, I think if you want to go to the people to request them giving you public office or so, you have to be very careful with the statement you make. Not like Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson would normally go and say, "Well, I defended the Nima people. During the time of our civil war, I was in the defense of the Nima people. When people were slaughtering the Bayans, when they were maltreating the Bayans, we were in the trenches. We were there in the gap. We were in the middle, telling the people, well, this is our people." And I think this action may, against them is not something that we need to be doing. But now Ronan is saying, well, he fought for 14 years. So you should give him haste. So it means that we will go now in Nimba and call all of those people that participated in the Civil War, and so that we can reward them with public office. So if Roden will go as senator, probably we have another warlord to go as superintendent, another warlord as city mayor, and the rest of it. So the campaign is on today. I just got information that on today there will be a press conference at the CPP headquarters. I think Mr. Cummins will be announcing his campaign team. So they just call me that I should be there. I think I will be there. So we will go there. Now, the election, since the campaign started, fire is burning between the CDC and that of the unit. We are now in the legs of ANC. I think now they are getting the zeal, because on yesterday I saw on Mariah Yekula page where they were trooping in with t-shirts in chalk. So it means that they are getting now in full swing. We are now also seeing the legs of Tier 1 Gonglo, who is on the other side, the broom man. But on yesterday, we witnessed him having a front rally at the Bella Casa Hotel. So it means all of them now are getting in full swing to making sure that they can get part of this campaign activities. We are now also seeing 100% the likes of other emerging political party. In Lofa County, Mr. Dr. Clarence Moniba is there keeping the fire burning in that part of the county, taking into consideration there where he hailed. And the president is continuing. I think he ended his district tour in Montserrat. He should be in Bombing on today. I think I got that information that he should be in Bombing on today. So it means he will embark on the county now engagement. So Bombing County will be the first stop, according to what I was understood from some of those individuals who think they have. Smith told me, though I and Smith don't have, it like that, but he said, well, the first stop will be in Bombing, and the president will embark on the county tour, and that their first stop will be in Bombing. I have some personal issue with Smith, but it cannot be discussed here. He's my own big brother, but at times he tripped. But be as it may, this is the country and this is the work we were called to serve and to do, and we'll do it with no fear nor favor. And as it goes on, we're all hoping that Liberia can be a better place for all of us. So right now, 14 minutes past 10 o'clock, we will take a short break. When we come back, we will dive into other happenings in the country. And right after that, we'll set the stage for our guests. This morning, our guest will be Madam Macdalla. She's the political leader of the Movement for One Liberia. That's the MOL. She will join us right now. She's 100% supporting the presidential bid and vice presidential bid of Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai, and of course, that is Jeremiah Macon. And she will come here for 1 hour to tell us exactly what prompted her quest, her decision to support that party instead of her going on the ballot. And she'll be talking about violence, about corruption. She will tell us exactly her stand on some of those issues and her own ingredients she has brought to the Unity Party, and what are those steps, techniques, and she have come with to make sure that Joseph Boakai the next president of Liberia. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk other issues and later on set the stage for our guests. A short break will bring us right back.
This is a show that delves into the lives of politicians beyond their political personas. This show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shoana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.
Welcome back to the show and thanks for rejoining us. This is the KMTV Morning Show. It comes away Mondays through Fridays and it's from 10 o'clock to 11:30 and discusses those major political happenings in the country. My name is Amos Thomas Momo. This morning, we will be having Madam Macdalla as our guest. She's the political leader of the Movement for One Liberia. She will sit here with us for an hour to discuss those happenings in the Unity Party, those ones in the country from the CDC angle. She has always been very bitter with the CDC, most especially the president of the country, President George Weah. She will tell us her own side of it, where her anger always lies, what she thinks needs to be done. What are those mechanisms need to put in place by this government to making sure that the Liberian people have a better lives? Those are issues we'll be talking about. She will speak on corruption. She will speak on violence. As you are aware, last week there was this violent scene in District 9, and I think it is something that we need not to be encouraging. When you went to the Farmington and signed the Farmington Declaration to have a free, fair, and transparent election, come back and disassociate yourself from the agreement and get in the posture of being very violent, very authoritative. I think it's something that we need not to be looking at. I don't know as to whether we can bring up that violence scene from District 9. I think it's on that video you're showing, so we can see exactly how that is it. I think that is what I'm talking about. And so we will bring this video so that Liberians in and out of Liberia can know exactly what we're talking about. This issue of violence is not from one side, it is from both sides, right? You will see people from the CDC getting involved into violence from the top. You see people from the Unity Party getting involved into violence from the top. And when you listen to some of those videos we'll be playing on the podcast here today from Madam Macdalla after the casket of former Vice President Joseph Boakai was carried around the street by seditions, she came out and said, well, if that is done again, we'll come out with ours, we'll not sit back, we'll be very violent, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I think leaders should get involved more into telling their partisans, well, this is not the right way to go. This election should be free, fair, and transparent, because we have witnessed a brutal scene of 14 years of civil crisis in our country. And I think we are not thinking of going back to the dark days. If leaders, those who thousands of Liberians follow, they depends on, they listen to for direction, can come up and say, well, we will not listen, we'll retaliate. If you throw us stones, we'll throw you more stones. If you hit us, we will take this and retaliate. We'll pay debt. I think then what we heard it will just be something that there will be a better election. After the election, it will continue being better. And this is something that we all need not to, most especially the young people, we need to be very careful with those decisions we made, those people we follow, those decisions and command we follow to execute. I can be beyond a leader, and I know that this country, the only way I will have a better country is when I make a very good decision. And then that leader comes out and say, well, These people want to hit on us. We have to hit on them back. Guys, let's go ahead. Now we go ahead and we get into dark days. That dark days will change the entire life. Though now Liberia is not 100% okay, right? This country is still way behind. Liberia is the oldest country in this continent, but yet and still undeveloped. We agree. But we have a peaceful environment. We have a peaceful country. Liberia is not facing any, you know, conflicting mood. All of our movement this morning, I woke up, I took shower, and I have to come to town to produce my show. But if we will have violence situation, I will not be able to come here. If we have violent situation, those same individuals who are propagating hate speeches and the rest of it will not be able to go and do those things. They will not be able to ride a luxurious car. They will not be able to live the comfortable and luxurious life they are living. You understand? Those senators who are going back for re-election, representatives who are going back, they all will be in exile. They will be in other neighboring countries like Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, and the rest of it. So Liberia depend on us. This is the country that we cannot be deported from, and we need to do all our best to make this decision comes October 10th a very good one that will be in the interest of Liberia. That will take Liberia from this present stage to a better one. There was this violent scene sometime last week in District 9. I don't know as to whether we can put that up so that the people know. There you see it. That was in District 9. And this situation resulted to individuals getting badly injured. Some of them ears got cut off, some of them got badly hurt. And since this incident, what troubled me a little bit is that since this incident, the NEC, who is responsible for election matters in the country, haven't said a word. The NEC is yet to even put out a press release condemning this violent situation. They haven't said a single word. Where are we heading? So it means anyone can just come up, cause violence, walk with impunity. And I think if this continues, then we'll see another side of a destructive election. Before you launch campaign, you have a conference or peace conference with all of those individuals, present leaders, and those who are aspiring to get into a political office or offices, and you spoke with them. Well, we need to have this election very free, fair, and I think the free, fair, and transparent part of this election lies in the hands of the NEC. The only way we can have this election that we are yearning for is when the NDC walk in the right path. Cut its space. When the CDC do, quote unquote, the one way or the other, you are working in the will and pleasure, and you should be an independent body. But from what we're seeing now, it's like you want to get engulfed to a particular political party. And if that is done, then you create the environment for people feeling disenchanted. And mind you, disenchantment comes with various reaction. Some will behave very peaceful in their reaction, but on the other hand, some will behave very violent. You listen to Honorable Yeke Koluba. He has always been caught on the rules and orders of this country. He's not believing in the justice and justice system of this country. He spoke about the NEC. Sometimes back when the voter registration process was going on, Honorable Koluba raised an alarm of people who have not reached the age of 18 and being registered. And it was not only in Montserrat you witnessed that, but all over the country you witness people under the age 18 being registered by the NEC. On the old road, he raised that. He called on journalists. Journalists went there. The individual questions who were encouraging seditions register was pointed out, and later on the NEC took her from that center. Unfortunately, she died, and it's something that we regret. May her soul rest in peace. But these are things that the NEC needs to be looking at. If you think you want to leave your private house, come in the public space, create situation that will trickle our peace and stability, then we have to have you in a barricaded mood or position. You cannot create, an individual cannot create an uncomfortable situation for over the thousands of Liberians, the millions of Liberians that live here. We have to be very careful. From what I'm seeing, the NDC is not putting her feet to the fire. Liberians, we need to be calling on the NEC because the violent aspect of this campaign alone, mind you, campaign runs up to October 7 or so, and it ends in the night around 12 o'clock. If that is done, the few days to election, and after election, NEC need to come up with results. Just within a week to campaign, the violent activities is even more. NEC is still sitting back in her comfort zone, not even willing to say a word. And if it get out of hand, then now you call the international community. This is the time the international community, most especially ECOWAS, need to come in. This is the time the NEC need to be more stronger, to be more vigilant in speaking truth to power. If the violence from the CDC side, though the government appointed you, but you have to say, well, this is it, and I think we need to do this. We need not to get involved into these, violent activities, because if this continues, it will have us getting into this. If this is it, and we are not taking a hold on it, it will be very, very devastated for us. We need to be very careful with the decisions we make, most especially we as young people. A minute up to 10:30, we'll take a short break, set the stage for our guest. I think our guest is in the back. There we'll take a short break to set the stage for our guest. At 10:30, our guest will come on. This morning, our guest is Madam Macdalla. She's the political leader of the Movement for One Liberia, and she will sit with us for an hour up to 11:30. A short break will bring us right back. My name is Amos Thomas Momo.
This is a show that delves into the lives of politicians beyond their political personas. This show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shawana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.
Many of the times when Liberians come to the States, driving becomes an issue for them. So the train coming here will give people the opportunity to find better jobs, to be able to move around easily, and will cut down some of the costs that we incur on ourselves. some of the older people, we got people that have to go for them and bring them to buy their groceries. Now, they can do it on their own. The Blue Line coming to Brooklyn Park, especially where we are concentrated, will be a blessing to most of us.
We are managing to have on our guest, Madam Macdalla Kopo. She will join us shortly from where she is. I don't know exactly where she's going to be joining us from, but she will join us to speak on national and political happenings in the country. She's from the movement for One Liberia, the MOL, and she's supporting now Ambassador Joseph Yuman Boakai and Mr. Jeremiah Cone. And so we are still here. Shortly, she will join us to speak on a wide range of issues in the country. She will speak on violence. She will speak on corruption. She will tell us the stand of the MOL in the Unity Party. She will be telling us, as we move to this election, what should citizens be more focused of. There are lots of other things she will say here that Liberians need to know and listen to. We are still here waiting the guests to join us on the show right here. And so there are too many things happening. Today, Mr. Cummins will announce his full campaign team members, and this is something we all look forward to. And I think after the pronouncement of his campaign team, then the CPP will get in full swing and they will be hitting all of the loops and corners in the trenches of the country to making sure that Liberians can also know that Mr. Cummins is contesting. Mark Jabate is there in Bapolu. He's campaigning for Ambassador Boakai. We all managing to. I managed to bring Mark here. Mark is an interesting guy. I listened to him last night on one of the sister show. He was very funny. Some of those things he said was important though, but they were all a formica, and we all laugh about it. But he was saying something that is very, very important. He spoke about the stability of the state. He spoke about the suffering masses. He said, well, now, right now in Bapolu, people badly see rest. Though rest is sold there for $60 per cup, but people even to see the cup of rice is difficult, you know. So he was there. He spoke with some of the people. According to him, he was called by his people. If you've been following Mark Jabate, he has always been on the side of the CDC. But this time around, he is with the Unity Party. Let me see if we are on course. I don't know what's going on, but we cannot see Madam Cooper. It's like she's finding some difficulties getting on. Can we take a short break to make some adjustment quickly? Guys in the technical cubicle, let's take a short break to come right back.
a man. He's a decent human being. He's a person who respects human rights. But some of us will step our cheek will slap your own. Don't matter where you slap your cheek will slap your own. And then that's it. You can't cast it or tell you to cast it.
Everyone. Again, I'm Macdalla Cooper, and you know I'm always posting about what's happening in Liberia. Over the past few months, I decided to support Honorable Joseph Yima Boakai, the former vice president under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, as he bid for the presidency of Liberia come 2023, October 10. I gave my full support. My political party has given their support. And I'm aware that Joseph Boakai is going to win on October 10. No question asked. There's no other relevant candidate in this race for the presidency on October 10th. Now, that has already been made known to everyone. Last week, or this past weekend, the youth of the CDC, the ruling party, led by George Weah, did the unthinkable. What they did was to purchase a casket, the box, the wooden box you bury people in. They took a wooden casket out of desperation, because George Weah knows he's losing this election. He instructed the youth over the weekend to purchase a casket, and on the side of the casket, which you can see in the pictures, on the side of the casket, posted the picture of Joseph Yima Boakai, the incoming president of the Republic of Liberia and my candidate for October 23 election. Now, George Weah does not have to stoop that low. He does not have to if he was in the know or was certain that he was going to win this election. He knows and he's afraid that he's going to lose this election. That is why he has instructed the youth of his political party to disrespect our incoming president by loading and carrying a casket of the image of our incoming president. And so to everyone out there, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you're in Liberia or the West African region, or you're part of our global community, George Weah has failed the Liberian people. He is not the president we need in our country. The entire nation are already have resolved to carry Joseph Yima Boakai come October 10th. And so the actions of George Weah and his political party is just a mere reflection that George Weah has no respect for our people in our country, no respect for rule of law. We have just signed a Farmington Declaration agreement that we will uphold peace in this election. He, as the president, should be the first one to see to it that we, and along with the young people, uphold the peace during this election. And he is the first one that has instructed the young people of his party to break the agreement we just signed. And so, to the world, to the West African region, to the Liberian in the diaspora, to even Liberians living here at home, don't relent. October 10th is around the corner. We know that we don't want George Weah as our next president. You will go to the polls and vote for Joseph Yima Boakai and Jeremiah Kwan. Thank you and God bless you.
There you listen to her, Madam Macdalla Cooper will shortly join us. We just communicated. I'm so sorry for her not joining us in time, but shortly she's going to join us. She's in a little chit chat with the standard bearer of the Unity Party, according to her, and very shortly, within a second, she's going to join us right here on the show. But you listen to Madam Macdalla Cooper. So running out of our conversation will be just that. She will speak to us from which standpoint and she derived at Liberians not wanting to retain the president, the current president of the country. She will talk about corruption. Corruption is one thing I'm very careful of, right? Because the issue of corruption, apart from Madam Macdalla Cooper talking about it, but I will keep this for another day. And on this day, Like I said on the first edition of our show, that we will be going to communities wherein those corrupt officials in government have property that they got from the expense of the taxpayer money of our people. People like Samoa will locally, for God's sake. You work with the Ministry of Finance. Clear. You cannot have 4 duplexes built within 6 months with the salary you earn from Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Finance. And the list goes on. There are lots of them. We will bring you pictorial evidence. We'll be very clear on some of those issues here. Because everyone went to school, everyone going to school. The reasons why our parents sent us to school is to come back, serve, and have a better life for them. Not few handful of people will always be in the center point of living luxurious life, they and their family. If they are in this office, the entire thing about Liberia is just about personal aggrandizement, right? If it is not Amos, it should not be if it's not one of the Momos, it should not be a Wise, it should not be a Wie, it should not be a Jackson, but it should just be one of the Momos. And it cannot be that way because other people parents send them to school to live better life as well. So this government should be a government of inclusion, irrespective of where you come, who you are, your religion, and the rest of it. It should be a government of inclusion. When we talk about government of inclusion, people should come from all walks of life, all walks of life, all walks of life. So we are still managing here to have our guest on. I'm hoping that shortly she could join us to talk those issues that matters here on the show. So we sincerely apologize for the delay of our guest, but I'm optimistic that within the next 2 or 3 minutes she will be with us and she will join us here. Madam Macdalla Cooper is our guest this morning, and we are managing all of our best to making sure that she can join us. Yes, so we cannot continue be living in this kind of environment. The issue of violence is something that we need to be very careful of. If you have your home and the father in the home is always seen by his children hitting on his wife or insulting his wife or handling his wife in the wrong direction, automatically when those children are grown and they have their home, they will also do similar because the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go, that when he's old, he will not depart from it. So children are trained from the small stage per what they see their parents doing, right? Per what they see their parents doing. My little daughter, my Olive, normally when I wake up in the morning, I say, "Man, anytime you wake up, you need to speak." Okay? So in the morning when she wake up now, she said, "Daddy, money." She's very smart, 2 years, but she's very, very smart. It's something I'm very happy for. So if you train your child in that way, then it means that you are giving a very bright future to the child because the child will not be thinking of going out to take bad substance. The issue of coach, like yesterday, Mr. P was talking about it on one of our sister program here. So the government is creating an environment that Liberians, most especially the younger Liberians, can get more involved into taking bad substances than the good ones. So he said, in fact, the kush is a drug, but it turned out there's a kush. But even when they say kush, it's kush that also drug. Because once you take it and mistreat you, it means that you take a substance in that is not good for the human system or human consumption. So that is also a kush. What are Liberians and the government doing to have a very conducive environment for people who are drugs user? Like the just laws have been passed, right? The president has signed it. The implementation, there are too many good laws on the book, but the implementation to those laws is what matters. The implementation to those laws matters a lot. You cannot have a drug law pass and you still arresting people with drugs, and the penalty that is on the book for people that are violating that law cannot be executed to the letter, all because quote unquote that person have a connection in this government, or that person have a connection to this person in particular, or that person have a connection to the other side. So these are things we have to be very careful about. We have to be very, very careful about those things. I don't know what's going on, but we are still here waiting. We will make our last connection. If it is not working, we cannot keep our people waiting, because I know many of you are waiting to listen to Madam Macdalla Cooper. She should be on, and I know she will shortly come on, but we cannot keep you waiting that long. So we will make our last connection. We'll take a short break with some of our sponsors and our other shows coming up. When we come back, we will tell you exactly as to whether we'll continue with Madam Macdalla Cooper or. But I'm hoping that we'll continue with her, and a short break will bring us right back.
This is a show that delves into the lives of politicians beyond their political personas. This show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shawana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
This is a show that delves into the lives of politicians beyond their political personas. This show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shawana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.
About making themselves rich, building mansions, making sure they launder money out of here, and we see it constantly. There are a slew of accusations against this administration. But the problem is, every administration, there's some level of corruption. But this one has taken corruption to a whole new level, a level that we've never witnessed. And so the Liberian people are the ones who have decided that they no longer have any interest in the Weah-led administration. They're not going to give him another 6 years to destroy our country. So they're going to vote for Joseph Hima Boakai. And that's the reality.
sitting here with Macdalla. Macdalla is a respectful man. He's a decent human being. He's a person who respects human rights. But some of us who step our chief will snap your hood. Don't matter where you snap your chief. 14 years in a country. How about you people don't know that when they said Banga was Gasha, they were rolling through. When they say senior senator was enjoying himself in a bigger hotel in Nigeria. When they staged a war and they left it, they went and started enjoying themselves. We were here trying to stand in front of the enemy for Nima to survive. You people are faking you. If you can get a Dr. Dodo in his own terms, you get Senator Johnson 18 years for 9 more world I fought. Roland Wood I fought for you for 14 years. You please give me small too now.
Eu queria ver esse humor. Give it
Senator Johnson 18 years for 9 more world I fought. Roland Wood I fought for you for 14 years. You please give me small too now.
Eu queria ver esse humor.
Welcome back to the show, and thanks for rejoining us. We sincerely apologize for the long break you've been experiencing through this presentation. We cannot bring you Madam Macdalla Cooper. The other things came in between, and as we speak, she's in conversation with Vice President Bwaka calling to her. So we should have it either during the day or we will reschedule her appearance here on the show. And so we sincerely apologize to all of you who've been eager about listening to Madam Macdalla Cooper this morning. There are some things in between that we cannot, have our own. But be as it may, we want to say thanks to all of you. We will now continue to do this Friday. We have to leave you. I want to say thanks to all of you for following us. On Monday, we will be here to bring you a clear debate. We are managing to have a strong person from the CDC and that of the Unity Party. If possible, we can have someone from the CPP to come and sit here and debate those issues, campaign issues that matters, so to speak. And so on Monday, we'll be back here with another presentation of the show. I want to say thanks so much, but I know you are frustrated. We couldn't bring you your guest. This too is it, and this is how it went. I want to say thank you. We'll be here on Monday. Thanks so very kindly. My name is Amos. Bye-bye.
This is a show that delves into the lives of politicians beyond their political personas. This show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shoana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.